Let me start with a simple but powerful truth. You don't chase success. You attract it, like a magnet, by working harder on yourself than you do on your job. That was a lesson I learned early in life, and I want to share it with you today. Because if you want to attract success now, not someday, not eventually, but now, then you must make a decision today to change the direction of your life. Let me tell you something I learned many years ago that changed everything for me. I was a young man, broke, frustrated, full of ambition but no direction. I was chasing success like it was running from me. I thought the harder I ran, the faster I'd catch it. I thought if I just worked longer hours, said yes to more opportunities, or jumped from idea to idea, I'd finally arrive. But what I didn't realize back then was that success is not something you chase. Success is something you attract. And how do you attract it? By the person you become. Let me give you a picture. Imagine a garden. You don't get a harvest by chasing crops around the field. You get a harvest by preparing the soil, planting the seeds, watering daily, pulling the weeds, and tending to it with care. You attract the harvest by creating the conditions where growth is not only possible, but inevitable. Life works the same way. If you want to attract success, you must prepare your mind and habits like a good gardener prepares the ground. Success doesn't come to the impatient. It doesn't come to the entitled. It doesn't even come to the busy. It comes to those who invest in becoming deserving of success. When I first heard that from my mentor, Earl Schaff, it hit me like a brick. He told me, Jim, success is looking for a good place to stay. If you want to be successful, work on yourself, your attitude, your philosophy, your character. And I took that to heart. So I stopped chasing and started building. I started with simple disciplines. Reading a few pages of a good book each day, setting goals, managing my time, developing a strong work ethic. I stopped trying to impress others and started trying to impress myself. I stopped blaming others and took full responsibility for my direction. And do you know what started happening? Opportunities came to me. Not because I was lucky, but because I had become someone who could recognize and use them. People began to trust me. Not because I asked for it, but because I had developed reliability. Clients started calling. Not because I begged, but because I had built value into who I was. You see, the world responds to value, and the value you bring to the world determines the rewards you receive. If you're not attracting what you want, it's time to examine who you are. Because like attracts like, success is attracted to clarity, to discipline, to character. It's repelled by confusion, laziness, and excuses. You've got to ask yourself, not how do I get success, but how do I become the kind of person success is looking for? That question changes everything. That's when your focus shifts from chasing to becoming. And here's the beautiful part. You can start becoming today, right now. You can begin developing better habits. You can learn something new. You can act with integrity. You can make the decision to rise above your current standards and set a new one for your life. So let me say it again, and let it sink deep into your thinking. Success is something you attract by the person you become. And the greatest part, that person you can be shaped, molded, refined, and improved every single day. You don't have to wait for the economy to change, or for someone to come rescue you. You just have to begin the process of becoming. And if you'll do that, if you'll commit to growth, discipline, and character, then success, real, lasting, meaningful success, will start coming to you, like a magnet to steel. It's not magic, it's not mystery, it's simply becoming the kind of person success can't resist. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Nothing changes until you do. That's where it begins. The turning point in your life is not when someone gives you a promotion, not when luck falls in your lap, not when the government changes, not even when you find the perfect opportunity. No, the turning point is when you decide to take full responsibility for everything in your life, your actions, your thoughts, your results. That's when things start to change. That's when the doors start opening. That's when success starts moving in your direction. Now I know it's tempting to blame. It feels good, doesn't it? Blaming the economy, blaming your parents, blaming the system, blaming your boss. But let me tell you, blame might feel good in the short term, but it robs you of power in the long term. As long as you blame, you can't change, because you've handed the keys of your life over to someone else. One of the best lessons I ever learned was this: if it's going to be, it's up to me, not up to the government, not up to my spouse, not up to my boss or my coworkers. It's up to me. The day I understood, that was the day my life started to improve. That was the day I stopped waiting and started working. That was the day I stopped hoping and started building. You see, life responds to responsibility. The moment you say, I am responsible for my health, for my finances, for my attitude, for my future, that's when you become powerful. That's when the excuses stop and the results start. That's when the blame ends and the growth begins. Some people say, Jim, but I wasn't born into the right family. I get it. Neither was I. Some say I didn't have the right education. Well, neither did some of the wealthiest, most successful people in the world. The question isn't where you came from. The question is, where are you going? And more importantly, who are you becoming? You can't control the cards you were dealt, but you can control how you play the hand. You can fold and complain, or you can stand up, push back from the table, and start a new game. It begins with one decision. I take responsibility. Responsibility means ownership. It means if your habits are holding you back, you change them. If your thinking is negative, you renew your mind. If your circle is toxic, you upgrade your environment. Responsibility doesn't mean guilt, it means control. It means you no longer wait for someone else to save you. You become your own rescue team. And here's the beauty of it. Once you take responsibility, you gain momentum. Suddenly, you're not waiting anymore. You're moving. You're not blaming. You're building. And when you build, you grow. And when you grow, you attract more. Responsibility is the foundation of all personal development. People often ask me, Jim, what's the first step to turning my life around? And I tell them, look in the mirror. That's where your power is. Not out there. Not in some perfect circumstance or some magical opportunity. The power is in you. When you change, everything changes. When you improve, everything improves. When you take responsibility, you take command of your life. So if you're not happy with where you are, don't point the finger. Look inward. Ask yourself, what do I need to learn? What do I need to do differently? What's one area I can take full ownership of starting today? Because the moment you answer that honestly, you've just taken the first step toward success. And let me tell you, the world makes way for the man or woman who knows where they're going and takes responsibility for getting there. That kind of person becomes unstoppable. That kind of person becomes magnetic. That kind of person starts to attract success, not by luck, not by chance, but by design. It all starts with responsibility. Own it, and everything begins to change. Let me share with you one of the greatest lessons I ever learned, and it completely transformed the direction of my life. Work more on yourself than you do on your job. Now, when I first heard that, I didn't quite understand it. I thought, isn't the way to success to work harder on your job, stay longer at the office, put in the hours, get noticed by the boss? That's what most people are taught, right? But then I realized your job will make you a living, but working on yourself will make you a fortune. Let me say that again because it bears repeating. Your job makes you a living, but your personal development, that's what makes you rich in every area of life. You see, most people spend years getting good at their job, but they never spend a day getting good at themselves. They study the product, but they don't study their own habits. They learn the sales script, but they never learn how to manage their own thoughts. They know the company manual backward and forward, but they don't know their own values or direction. And then they wonder why things don't change. I'll tell you why. Because the key to the better life is not a better job. The key to the better life is a better you. Let me give you a simple formula Income rarely exceeds personal development. If you want more income, you have to grow into the kind of person who can handle and attract more income. Because here's the truth. If someone hands you more money than your current mindset or habits can manage, you'll lose it. Just like lottery winners who go broke in 5 years or less. Why? Because they didn't grow into someone who could handle the wealth they received. So I started to treat my personal growth like it was my real job. Every day I read good books. I listened to wise teachers. I reflected. I wrote. I planned. I stopped asking, how can I get ahead? And started asking, how can I get better? Because once I got better, everything else got better with me. Your relationships will improve when you improve. Your finances will increase when you increase your skills, your thinking, your vision. Your health gets better when you take better responsibility and discipline. Everything gets better when you do. That's why the greatest investment you can ever make is not in the stock market, not in real estate, not in a side hustle, it's in you. Now, I'm not saying neglect your job. Be excellent at it. Be known for your work ethic, your attitude, your consistency. But while you're working at your job, never forget to be working harder on yourself. Study leadership. Develop communication skills. Learn how to manage time. Build your mindset. Master your emotions. Read biographies. Learn from mentors. Go to seminars. Challenge your comfort zone. And here's the payoff. When you grow, opportunities start showing up. Not because someone handed them to you, but because you became someone who could see them, seize them, and multiply them. When you grow, you outgrow problems that used to stop you. You become a person of value, and the marketplace always rewards value. So if you're stuck right now, don't just ask for a raise. Raise your value, raise your standards, raise your knowledge, raise your skill set, and the world will rise up to meet you. Remember this. Success is not something you pursue. It's something you attract by becoming an attractive person. Not just in looks, but in mindset, attitude, skill, and strength. Become so good, so valuable, so effective that opportunity can't ignore you. And that journey begins not with working longer hours, but with working harder on you. Let me share a secret with you, one that separates those who struggle year after year from those who begin to build momentum and never look back. Success is built on small daily disciplines, not dramatic actions, not once-in-a-lifetime decisions, not the occasional burst of motivation. Just simple, steady, repeated disciplines done every single day. You see, the things that will change your life aren't always loud. They don't show up in fireworks or make headlines. In fact, they're so small, so ordinary, that most people overlook them. That's the trap. But the people who succeed understand that what you do daily matters more than what you do occasionally. Let me give you a picture. Imagine a man with poor health who decides one day to get fit. So he runs 10 miles on day one, then nothing for a week, and then he wonders, why don't I feel better? That's not how success works. Running 10 miles once does nothing, but walking 1 mile every day for 30 days, that changes your body and your life. Why? Because the compound effect of discipline is unstoppable. Now let me tell you the other side of the story. Failure has a formula too, and it's just as subtle. Failure is not one big mistake. It's a few errors in judgment, repeated daily. Skip the workout once. Hit snooze every morning. Waste an hour on social media. Say I'll start tomorrow one too many times. These don't seem like a big deal today, but keep doing them and suddenly you're 5 years down the road wondering what happened. Here's the truth. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's not glamorous. It's not easy, but it's worth it. And the best part, discipline doesn't care where you start. You can begin today, right where you are, with what you have. I remember when I was broke, behind on my bills, and full of excuses. My mentor told me, Jim, if you don't change, nothing changes. He said, discipline weighs ounces, regret weighs tons. I never forgot that. I decided I'd rather carry the small weight of discipline now than suffer the heavy burden of regret later. So I started simple. Reading 10 pages of a good book a day. Writing down my goals. Planning my week every Sunday night. Making 5 calls before lunch. Nothing fancy, but those little things done daily built something bigger than I ever imagined. They built me. Because discipline doesn't just build your business, it builds your character. It builds your self-respect. It builds trust. Others trust in you, and your trust in yourself. When you keep your promises to yourself, you walk taller, you speak with more conviction, you live with purpose. And let me tell you something else. Discipline creates freedom. Most people think discipline is restriction. But the truth is, the more disciplined you are, the more freedom you enjoy. Freedom in health, freedom in finances, freedom in time, freedom to do what you want, when you want, because you did what you needed to do, when it wasn't easy. So don't underestimate the power of the small. Never say it's just one day. Never say it's just one decision, because every decision is a vote for the kind of life you're building. Decide today to become a person of discipline. Not perfect, just consistent. A person who chooses the right thing over the easy thing. A person who understands that success doesn't come from what you do once, but from what you do daily. That's where the magic is. That's where the results are. And that's how you build a life you're proud of. One discipline at a time. Everything changes when you change. That's one of the greatest truths I've ever learned. If you want to change your life, your income, your relationships, your health, your results, it doesn't begin with the world out there. It begins with your thinking. Because here's the reality. You can't upgrade your life until you upgrade your mindset. Your mind is the factory where everything in your life is produced. It's the command center. It's the engine. It's the soil where all your seeds, good or bad, are planted. And let me tell you, the quality of your thinking determines the quality of your results. That's not philosophy. That's reality. See, we're not born with a fixed mindset. We develop it. And the good news is, if we developed it, we can redevelop it. We can renew it. We can replace doubt with belief, fear with courage, and limitation with vision, but only if we take charge of what goes in, because what goes in comes out. Most people want their circumstances to change without changing the way they think, but it doesn't work that way. You can't live a millionaire lifestyle with a poverty mindset. You can't build a strong relationship with weak thinking. You can't build a future if your thoughts are stuck in the past. Now, don't get me wrong. Life's tough. You'll face setbacks. You'll have disappointments. I've had plenty, but it's not the event that determines your outcome. It's how you think about the event. Your interpretation creates your experience. Your mindset shapes your meaning. Some people say, Jim, life's not fair. I agree. But here's the truth. Life isn't fair, but it's always responding to your thinking. So what's the solution? Upgrade the way you think. Think stronger. Think clearer. Think longer term. Train your mind like an athlete trains their body. Start catching those negative thoughts that try to sneak in. You know, the ones I can't, I'm not good enough. That's not for people like me. Stop those at the gate. Don't let them set up camp. You're the gatekeeper of your mind. Act like it. Replace I can't with I'm learning. Replace I'm stuck with I'm growing. Replace I've failed with I've learned something. You see, your mind believes what you consistently tell it. And if you feed it failure, you'll live in fear. If you feed it hope, you'll start to see possibilities. If you feed it discipline and faith, you'll start attracting results. I started doing that years ago on purpose. I would read 10 pages of a good book a day, listen to tapes, take notes, reflect, question my old thinking, replace it with new thinking. It didn't change everything overnight, but it changed me. And as I changed, everything around me started to follow. So if you want to upgrade your life, don't just chase new tactics. Build a new mindset. A mindset that's disciplined. a mindset that's grateful, a mindset that's resilient, one that doesn't give up the first time it gets hard, one that sees failure as feedback and setbacks as setups. Because with the right mindset, even storms become your training ground. With the right mindset, challenges become your curriculum. With the right mindset, rejection becomes redirection. And let me tell you this, the person who learns to manage their mindset will always outperform the person who only manages their schedule. Because the mind controls the man, and the man controls the plan. So what do you feed your mind every day? What kind of thoughts are you cultivating? If you don't like the results you're getting, trace it back to the thoughts you're thinking. That's the root. That's where the change begins. Don't wait for the world to change. Don't wait for someone else to rescue you. Rescue yourself by mastering the one thing you control every day, your thinking. Because when you upgrade your mindset, you upgrade your future. And that's when success becomes not just possible, but inevitable. If you truly want to attract success, not just wish for it, not just daydream about it, but attract it into your life, then you must become a person of value and vision. That's the key. Because success is not looking for a lucky person. It's looking for a prepared one. It's looking for someone with clarity of purpose and character that shines. It's looking for someone who has become a magnet, not for money, not for applause, but for opportunity, progress, and growth. People often ask me, Jim, how do I get more out of life? And I tell them it's not about what you get, it's about who you become. Become the kind of person success wants to be around. Become so valuable that people seek you out. You want to attract more? Become more. You want better relationships? Become more loving, more patient, more honest. You want financial success? Become more skilled, more disciplined, more resourceful. You want influence? Become more authentic, more courageous, more reliable. See, the world is full of people who are chasing, but very few are becoming. And here's what I know becoming attracts, vision attracts. Character, character, character. Excellence attracts. And when you commit to those things, life begins to open up in ways you never imagined. I learned this early in my journey. There was a time when I was broke, physically broke and mentally bankrupt. I kept asking, when will someone give me a break? But my mentor said, Jim, don't wish for things to get easier. Wish to become better. Don't ask for less problems. Ask for more skills. Don't ask for more money. Ask for more value. That shook me. I realized I had to stop asking the wrong questions and start building the right foundation. And the foundation is always you. You are the project, your thinking, your habits, your self-respect, your clarity of vision. That's the soil from which success grows. You've got to know where you're going. Success is not attracted to the confused or the inconsistent. It's attracted to the person with purpose. The one who gets up every morning with a goal in mind. The one who does what they said they'd do even when it's hard. The one who says, I may not be there yet, but every day I'm becoming more capable, more valuable, more prepared. And value doesn't mean perfection. It means progression. It means you're growing, learning, stretching. You're investing in yourself. You're showing up every day on time, with energy, with clarity. That's what people respect. That's what the marketplace rewards. That's what success responds to. Now let me tell you this. Vision without value is just a dream. And value without vision is wasted potential. You need both. You need to see where you're going. And you need to build who you are along the way. When you do that, the right people, the right opportunities, and the right rewards start coming into your life. Not because you were lucky, but because you became ready. So ask yourself, what kind of person would the future I want be drawn to? Then become that person. What kind of person would be trusted with the success I desire? Then become that person. Because the law is simple. Who you are determines what you attract. Success doesn't respond to hoping. It responds to habits. It doesn't follow intentions. It follows identity. So become the kind of person success wants to be around. A person of vision, a person of value, a person who's always becoming. And when you do that, you won't have to chase success. It'll come looking for you.